welcome back to another ASMR video. It is Tony Bomboni, and today I have some wisdom to share and spread with all of you beautiful poopsies, angels. I wanted to talk about trust, and I was looking through my archive of videos, and I thought I've done a video like this before, but I guess not. It's just been a subject that I always wanted to do, and I have had my fair share of trust issues with people, and I was just discussing with someone about trust, and we both mutually agreed that it was something that has to be a give and take, as if with anything, with love and with friendship. And it's just such a difficult subject. Excuse me if I lose my train of thought sometimes. I'm just trying to go with the flow with this video, just like I did in the Love Guru video, where I talk about love that was not scripted, that was just all my thought and opinion on love. And so I feel like with anything, it takes time, and everything will have its own time to grow and blossom for you. So trust is something built, not received, as people say. And so when you are going through a trust problem, let's say with a friend, you have to realize that it is most likely on you to learn to trust them. You can't force someone to be trusted. Like, you can't just go to that friend and say, "Hey, Margaret, prove yourself, do something more to make me trust you." You know, that's something that has to naturally be built over time. If you find a friend is stealing from you, for example, that trust is broken, yes, and it's very difficult to attain it back, and most of the time people let that person go, and that is the right thing to do, in my opinion. I'm not a therapist, I'm an expert, but usually if someone does you wrong in that sense, then they could do other harm to you in the near future. So the best thing, again, my opinion only, is to let them go. Now, if you have a trust issue because when this particular person has done you wrong in that way, like stolen something from you, like jewelry, for example, you associate that memory with your future friendships, and so now you have a hard time trusting future people because you think they're going to take from you, or they're going to want something from you, or they're going to do something else absurd that you do not see coming. So you're paranoid, and you start to close yourself off to people. You shut that door and you don't let anyone in. There's I don't know, let's say someone in the line in Starbucks or Barnes & Noble's trying to talk to you, and you're so paranoid that you just like shut yourself out. You're like, "Oh, I have to go, I'm busy, I have things to do," or like, oh my gosh, I'm in a hurry, I have to go to work. Like, you say any lie just to get out of their way, and get them out of your hair. And you're associating that past with everyone now. And so you think Joe Schmo at the coffee shop is going to try to do you harm. This has happened to me before. I've shut out so many people, including important people in my life, that were there for me when I needed it. And I, for no reason, just blocked them out. And I'm not perfect. I'm still working on that. I'm still blocking people left and right who are coming through because I think, oh, this person's going to want to do me harm, or like they only want to take advantage of me or use me for something. And a lot of the time it's true, but it doesn't mean that everyone's trying to get something from you. Most likely circumstances are that they're either coincidental instances, like someone borrow money from you and you give them, and then they're now asking again a month down the line because they need help with something, so now they're dependent on you for that. And if you say no, then they all of a sudden shut you out. So now you have a trust issue based on the same concept of what I said. That's just one example. Like people not to be trusted due to taking advantage of you, right? They're not harming you. Maybe your bank account, but they're not physically doing any harm. The only thing is that you are now thinking later down the line, okay, I have to be more careful with my finances because this person is going to want to take from me. And so you begin to associate that with everyone and block everyone out. And all of a sudden you're looking through it. Before you know, you're looking through your phone and your contacts and you're like, oh, Rebecca, she did that to me one time. Let me remove her. And we start to resent and grow bitter and old. And I, again, have a bad habit of doing that. Like, the only people in my phone contacts now is that one friend and my family, and that's it. And maybe some places like companies, phone calls I need to do to call, you know. But other than that, I have such a grand experience, like a knowledge, an encyclopedia of experience with this, and people doing me wrong, finding out that someone has been talking smack behind my back and it ends out he's my boyfriend. Yes, that's happened to me. And it hurts to let these people go, but it's such a right thing to do, in my opinion, again. And I'm going to emphasize it over and over again because I don't know if I'm right, but if you want to hear my advice through this video, feel free. I just feel like not everyone has the best intention for you, so when you realize that, why should you waste any more time and energy on them? Now, there are people who come through and who change and fix themselves and they want to keep things rolling, but I've always said this myself. Some things are just too good to be true, and everyone wants something from you. Maybe, let's say that person that stole your jewelry, your ring, felt bad, gave it back, and tried to prove themselves better to you down the line, and they've been trying their best to work toward building the friendship for 10 years, right? And 10 years pass by, and they end up meeting someone else, and then blocking you out of your life. So that person was only in that friendship to gain because they had no one else in their life, and they realized how lonely they were. You know, I'm just giving an example. So as soon as they met that other person, they let you go. You know, people are energy feeders by nature, so I notice when I block out people, like other people just want to come through and I have to block them out too sometimes because I'm too busy focusing on my job and all sorts of things. So, you're constantly going to be giving and feeding energy from others, and that's how it is, you know. You just have to find those reliable sources to do that, because there are going to be people who just want to take from you and nothing else. They want nothing to do from you, with you, excuse me. And so I'm looking at my rack of clothes in the closet. I keep looking there because something's telling me to look there. I guess what I'm trying to say is, if they could, they would steal your whole rack of clothes and bounce, then never speak to you again. That is how disgusting some people are, and unfortunately that affects us because there are just certain people that go through miserable situations like that, and it makes them destroyed in that part of life. In the social aspect, they'll get so paranoid to a point where even a question as if, do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, will make them fidget, like, you know, stay away, leave me alone. And that can be fixed with therapy, but it's up to them to get those little minuscule details in their life changed, and they have to change for the better. Nobody can tell them to, you know, that's their path in their life. We're all on different journeys, different paths, and so we're all a work in progress, so there's nothing wrong with losing trust. You know, people are so paranoid nowadays and saying, oh, you have trust issues, oh, you need help. No, you know, we're going to be good at some parts of our life and other parts we're going to stink, okay? We're here to be the best humans we possibly can be, to help other human beings evolve and grow into even better human beings. But did God come tell you to come down here and be perfect? So you're always going to be given a challenge to face till your deathbed. That's just how it is, okay? But this is one of those major topics that I wanted to make clear and kind of hopefully pave the way for some of you guys and help you out, because I know I've been struggling a lot growing up, and confidence is a big thing that gets taken down and just destroyed completely when you lose faith and trust in people. And there are going to be people who are just sick, unfortunately, just really ill in the mind, and just want you to feel horrible and make you feel like the sick one. And they will try to destroy your confidence. And then later, when they take down that confidence wall, they will attack you in your most sensitive spot and completely destroy your trust of people. And these people I like to call not like a psychic vampire, but like I don't know the word, but if I get to it, I'll put it in the editor in the text box. But I don't like to associate myself with those kind of energies. And I was even thinking about this earlier, about comparing light and other people, like going to what makes you feel good and do what makes you feel right in the mind. And so when you allow yourself to bring in all these people who have not the best of intent at heart for you, you begin to feel just drained and like you have no motivation to do other things. And so the best thing for you to do in that time is just take a break, take some time off, turn off your devices and just meditate on it. Go out and meet up with, family members, or just in nature by yourself, go pet the animals at the pet store. Do something that is of the light, which anything of the light, I've said before, is to make you feel good, okay? And people confuse that with like sinister things, like, getting with someone, do you know what I mean? Like, you'll immediately say, well, doing some sinister things makes me feel guilty, but it feels so good. But what's wrong with feeling good and having some pleasure in your life, if that makes sense? So I think people confuse it a lot because they think, oh, I'm being such a bad boy or girl by doing this or that. Stealing is a different story, but like giving and receiving energies amongst someone, I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm just being very broad for YouTube to keep it clean, but there's not much wrong with that, and people will try to break you down and say you're doing it wrong. Just follow your own path. Like I said, we all can listen to advice from one another, as you, the poopsie, watching me. But again, some things you have to take with a grain of salt, because again, at the end of the day, I'm no doctor, professional. I'm an opinion giver. So you can maybe say, okay, I resonate with Tony on some of that, and some of that you disagree with me. And that's fine. I have a lot of people disagree with me constantly in the comments and the vlogs, like, Tony, maybe you should have done this better, maybe you should have done this differently. Okay, fine, that's fine. Because on here you get to see a different perspective of me, and compared to there you see my reality. It's like my reality show on my vlog channel. Here it's more take the time, take the place to relax and not think so much, because you're thinking now as you're listening to me, but more gain spiritual advice and wisdom. And I guess in a sense, hopefully you're feeling relaxed by this. And so let's take this example, my dog. He has to take time to learn to trust me. And how do you think I did that? By showing him kindness, by reassuring him with treats, telling him I was there for him when he cried in the middle of the night in his little house. And so that's how humans build trust with each other. We are like animals ourselves. We technically are. We're just not having 4 legs or more and crawling on the ground. But in a sense, we do all learn and grow from the same, it's like from the same root to the same soil. We are beings of the earth, and so we can all relate on that level. Trust is built, not gained by, you can't just give it like, okay, now I have trust in you, you know. I made that mistake countless times. I just will meet someone and I'll give my heart and I'll open up so much to them, and in their head they're looking at me like, I don't know you, and I get offended because even though after being hurt so much, I still want to give as much as I can, and that's just me. I'm that kind of person. I don't think I'm here on this earth to just receive all the dang time. I really don't. I have that mission feeling, and that's why I feel so foreign, because I feel like that's my duty. That's just my job. Me being alive is doing my job. That's more than enough. I don't have to slave to do my job, if that makes sense. My existence is my job, so that's my mentality. And so when someone says that to me, I get hurt, because I still have a hope in my mind that someone will be out there that'll put equal faith and trust in me, and there will be those nice people you think they're the sweetest hearts and angels, and oh my gosh, they saved your life, and then boom, they will hurt you in the end. And so you have to kind of set yourself for that, and take a step back and analyze people for who they are, and look at them in a better light and say, okay, this is why they hurt me, this is why they did that, because of their self-consciousness, because they can't help it, because of this situation that happened to them in the past. Oh, they were, I don't know, anything, you know, like something happened to them on the street with some person, some altercation, someone threw a hot dog in their face, and ever since then they're scared to go in public, you know, stuff like that. Just, it could be anything. I'm just giving broad examples, but we are all a result of our lives, our traumas, our good moments, and so people carry that weight, the burden, and dump it on you. Trust me, this works every time. As soon as you tell someone, even a stranger, complete dang stranger on the street, hey, you, huh? Let's talk. Tell me some of your problems. What are you going through? Every single time they're gonna dump on you. It works every single time. They're gonna want to tell you everything, and people just want to, in a sense, they do give, but they want to release the weight, release the burden. So that's why it's so nice to have someone to speak with. It's so important to have at least one friend there, and especially, I'd say, family member. Family can hurt you too, honestly. They can, they really can do. But that's why I say friends are important. Friends may not always be there, but when they are, it's a dang good feeling, and it's inexplicable. It's just, I feel so sad sometimes I feel sad for myself at one point when I had absolutely no one, and I thought to myself, wow, this is nice, but at the same time it's not, because then, like, I can't tell some of my problems to, like, my family, you know. Sometimes it can be awkward, and you hold some things back, and so, and sometimes the problem is with your family, and you can't argue with your family about, you know what I mean, you have to argue with someone else about it. So, but it really is kind of like a double-edged sword in some aspects, because you want to be cautious with people, but at the same time that caution is attracting more people you should be worried about and more people you should be cautious about. So that's where I say you have to train your mind to kind of keep it in the back of your head, back here. Don't overanalyze it. Don't be like, okay, every step I should plan and categorize. Like, that'll make you more nervous, that'll make you sweaty, that'll make you mess up even more, and give people more reason not to trust you instead. Yes, you can sabotage it, and people will not trust you instead, and you'll find yourself in the opposite situation, whereas you not trusting people, if that makes sense. So have an open heart, open mind, and by doing humanity really can be, and how you can work it for your betterment, okay? And vice versa. So you don't want to just get a friendship. Like, let's say you ask God for friendship, okay? What do you need that friendship for? Tell him exactly what you need for, even if it's just A, B, C. Make a list, okay? Make it clear and concise in your head, or write it down. And say, what will you give back in return for this friendship? What will you sacrifice to make this friendship work? I've had a friendship long going now that is working, a work in progress, as we all are, but working because I've sacrificed my time. You know, sometimes I've had to put in some like money to make happen, like, you know, field trips, vacation, whatever, adventure. You know, motivation, ideas, you know. Sometimes I'll just call this person just to get them going during the day, and vice versa. They'll want to do the same for me if I don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning. And so it's all a compensation in a sense. I don't know about that word compensation. It sounds so it's more like not sacrifice, not compensation. What's it called? Mutuality in a sense, yeah. And so it's like paying for a phone bill. You have to pay your share of the phone bill to get service. Otherwise, they're gonna cut your service. You know, they may cut you some slack and delay the bill due date for 15 days at most. But when the collector starts calling, you know, that's when you know it's time to pay up. Otherwise, you no longer get reception. It's the same with friendships, okay? If you're always complaining about your day and you don't have time to listen to your friend about their day, and they're sitting there on the phone sad and just listening to you nag on and on and on, what do you think's gonna happen? They're gonna go to someone else to dump their problems on, even if it means dumping into a complete stranger. I've had people just randomly approach me just like to ask a question, and then they'll start changing the conversation, talking about their grandson and how much they're pissing them off, and I'm just like, oh my god, I have to go. Like, it's just like that, okay? That's why I said earlier, every time a guarantee works that this person is gonna want to talk to you about their problems. It works every time, okay? So, regardless, trying to think up of more things to talk about trust, because it's such a deep subject. It's very fun to talk about, very interesting to get your opinion as well in the comments. Maybe some experiences you went through that had you to get trust issues or something. And in my opinion, the subject itself of trust issues is not negative or wrong, you know. You're just a precautious person, okay? But try not to, so to speak, let that affect your, let's say, business decisions or decision on whether you want a baby or something. Because if you have trust issues and you're at this job interview, for example, and you're paranoid and you're worried about this company, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, the boss is looking at me with a side eye, the manager doesn't really like me, and you're starting to think like, oh my gosh, they look like they want to do something to me, and you know, keep it aside in the back of your mind. But remember, life is a journey, an experience to learn and grow, so you have to get hurt sometimes to grow. So look at every opportunity as a blessing in disguise, even if it ends up not as you expect or want, because you learned your lesson and went through that door. God is gonna bring you another door, even better, because you dared to take the step and chance to go to that job interview and try, even if you ended up failing. If you just sit at home and you don't even bother going to that interview, and you just find other methods, you know, you're kind of staying stuck in the same situation over and over again, the same pattern. So you have to get out of that and dare, even if your trust is in the way, because not everyone is out there to hurt you and get you. Not everyone has the worst intention for you, okay? If you're that nervous, like let's say even to go take a walk to your car, have someone there with you if that helps, okay? if you have to live in a bubble for a while, do it, whatever feels right to you. I know I've had to shut myself in for a long time after exhaustion of dealing with an ex, and this person I've been struggling with them forever, and I finally decided, you know what, just to block them and then get it done, and I feel so much better now. And it stings in the beginning, it really does. You feel kind of attacked, but then you realize what you dodged and avoided is for yourself, so to speak. So don't let anyone suck you dry of your energy. We all recharge our energy every day as a battery pack, okay? You recharge it by sleep, a good diet, water, exercise, nature, alright now, and connecting with the spirit above. And so, when you do those things, you will live an ideal life, and you'll actually physically begin to glow, and people will notice that. And again, those little people that try to take from you, they're going to notice that, and they're going to try to attack you even more for that. But you got to let them go. You got to take it high, and you got to step up your game, and eventually it's just going to flow. It's going to be a constant pattern. You're going to be in such a momentum that no one can take you down. But the big guys, they'll try to, but they still won't if you follow that path, okay? And with that, that'll empower you, that'll gain your confidence again, and you can finally battle these demons, so to speak. And you will learn to somehow trust people again. Alright, so again, we're all on a path in life to do that. And some of these things I mentioned I didn't even think to talk about, but it just came, it just flowed out of me, you know. I work now with that sort of energy, that light energy, that motivates me every day. And I find little things like a routine in my daily life that I love to do, that I enjoy, that keeps me going every day and giving you guys content. So that's exactly what I'm speaking about when I say do something that makes you feel good, and that will help you long term with everything. Not only trust issues, but let's say you're having financial issues, you're having issues with a boyfriend, girlfriend, you're having issues in school, grades are slipping up, or you don't like a teacher, or you're trying to get rid of someone in your life who did you wrong, and all of this will solve by working on yourself, okay? And that's why I emphasize, if these spoken words don't help, please seek some form of help. Actually, I might remember to link below again. BetterHelp. I have my BetterHelp link below that you could sign up for. This video is not sponsored, but I'm just referring to it again because I did in another video, and you guys can feel free to sign up if you choose. It's just an amazing website that'll just help you out from home, so much cheaper as well. But anyway, guys, I think I've said everything that I had to for trust. And yeah, please be sure to subscribe.